With respect to supporting families, the government is failing very badly. I've been trying to highlight repeatedly in this stall the way that the supervised access system is being exploited by unscrupulous private companies. It illustrates the failure to support parents and the failings in the public system. Current and former access supervisors, as well as parents, have contacted me to explain how this has become an ethics-free exploitation zone for profit-hungry private companies. Unlike every other European country, we have no public supervised access service. It's exclusively provided by private companies. So the state, in the form of courts, say the only way you're going to see your kids is with supervised access, but the state refuses to provide any service for that. Private companies are the only ones who provide it. Parents have no choice but to pay large sums of money to private companies to see their children. I have a costings list from one of those companies, Supervised Access Ireland. The rates are €34.75 an hour from 10 to 6 Monday to Saturday, €44.50 an hour on Sunday. If a parent wants to see their child for 4 hours, they have to pay between €139 and €178. It's more than a third of your weekly wages if you're on the minimum wage. It's up to 3/4 of your weekly payments for someone on job seekers allowance. On top of that, some private companies are additionally overcharging parents. One parent forced to use the services of Supervised Access Ireland said they had to pay for a 3-hour visit when they were getting 2 hours, they had to pay for a 4-hour visit when they were getting 3. It's hard to comprehend this as anything other than a state-sanctioned form of ransom, and a very profitable ransom at that. Supervised Access Ireland charges parents more than double what they pay supervisors in their wages for the equivalent time. And it's children as well as parents who suffer from this. Kids cannot see their parents because the parents cannot afford the extortionate fees that the private companies charge. I asked the Taoiseach about this last summer. I asked if any financial assistance could be provided for parents. He replied, it is the responsibility of the parents to pay for access arrangements, and they are obliged to pay private companies for this service. I acknowledge the stress that this can cause for families. So the Taoiseach acknowledges the stress for vulnerable kids missing their mother, missing their father, but he doesn't propose to do anything about it despite having a €25 billion surplus. Bear in mind that children in access situations have already lost a significant amount of contact with their parent, and now the state is standing over a situation that makes it harder for them to rebuild their relationship with parents that want to see them, that want to rebuild their relationship. It is cruelty by the state to the children. To make matters worse, the service being provided by some of these private companies is substandard, to put it mildly. Employees have told me, and I quote, "Workers were hired and sent on shift without any face-to-face interviews or even the most basic of checks. In more than one instance, an access worker was sent out without any Garda vetting being done, as well as not having appropriate checks with regards to indemnity insurance. This was allowed to happen with vulnerable children who are in the care of the state all over the country and facilitated by the company to maximise profits. They maximise profits at the expense of the safety and well-being of children." When I raised this scandal in parliamentary questions to the Minister, he claimed that Tusla ceased using the services of this particular company in February 2024. However, Tusla records show that they have paid the same company over €100,000 for their services for this year in 2024, which would be a very, very large sum if they were only working for 6 weeks. I also have it on good authority that supervised access jobs are still being advertised by the company in question. Perhaps the Minister, if there's a sum up at the end, could address this and at very least pledge to investigate it. If the government is serious about child protection and is not just using it as a political football to score points, it must actually act to fix the broken child protection system.